Welcome back, guys. Join me as I make this key ring dress with side cuts. I am so excited to make this. So let's get started. So guys, I have gone ahead to draft my pattern. This is my neckline, my shoulder line, my waistline, the hip, and the full length of my dress. I'm working with a length of 33, and this is my hemming allowance. This dress has no zipper in it, so we're making use of this pattern for both the front and the back. All I had to do was to fold my paper into two. That's this way. So I am just going to go ahead to cut this out. Cut it out, and this is how it's looking. Remember, while drafting, I folded my paper into two. See, it's opening up. So all I just have to do now is to slash this side open. So I could use one side for my front and the other side for my back. I'm going to label this front and this back. Oh, and this back. I'm going to cut this open. Please make sure you make a straight line, because this is going to be your center front and your center back. As you can see, this is open now. So this is my front and this is my back. So from that picture, I'm just going to keep the back aside first. Let's focus on the front. Now I'm going to mark my bust length. My bust length is 13, but I do not want the cut to stop directly under my bust. So I'm going to come down by 1 inch, meaning that I'm going to be marking 14 inches. My neck tip here, 14 inches. And I'm going to draw a straight line. So I'm drawing a straight line. So I'm labeling this under bust so that you can take note of that. So for the neck depth, I'm going to be coming down by 10 inches. Why I'm coming down by 10 inches is because you need room. You need enough room to gather your fabric inside the ring. Because if you come really down, what will be left to put in the ring is not going to be much. So that is why I'm coming down by 10 inches. But if you really want your cleavage to show, you can come down more. It all depends on what you want to. So, but I'm coming down by 10 inches from my neck tip. Then I'm making a line. So this is how it's looking. Now that we've gotten this, what I'll have to do from this under bust, which I marked as 14 inches, I'm just going to come in by 2 inches. This is for the lower part. So I'm just labeling my waistline so that you don't get confused. Then from this waistline, I'm coming down by 1 inch. You can do 1.5, you can do 2 inches. It all depends on how low you want it to be. Then I'm just going to connect to my ruler this way. This pattern is really easy, guys. So for the front, as you can see, we are already done. All I just have to do right now is cut out. So I'm cutting to this point, cutting to this point out, and I'm cutting out this way. Next, I'm going to cut out my neckline. This is how the front is looking. So this lower part in front, remember to cut on fold. Remember to cut on fold, while this part you're going to cut it open. So you're cutting this open, you're not cutting this on fold, because at this part is where your ring is going to sit. Like you're going to gather this all up, and this is where your ring is going to sit. So we're done with the front, guys. Let's go over to the back. So guys, for the back, I thought to place the front alongside with the back so that you don't get confused. So remember, the front, we made the waistcut from 14 inches. So you're going to do same. You're going to mark 14 inches as well at the back. So I'm going to measure 14 inches. So this is where 14 inches is. And at the front as well, we came down. And at the front, we came down by 1 inch. So I'm going to come down from this waistline by 1 inch. So all we just need to do right now is to connect this back to the center back. Then this 1 inch from the waistline, I will mark same 1 inch at the center back here, and I will roll my line. So meaning that we are cutting this out and cutting this out. Please remember to label. This is center back and this is center back. So here you're cutting this on fold. You're cutting this on fold. Please do not forget. If this is confusing, you can just write on fold and cut on fold, so that you remember. So I'm cutting this off and I'm cutting this off.
Now, to avoid the back from gaping, because the back is open, we need to tighten it. First, we're going to mark our waist measurements on that waistline, and my waist is 29. 29 divided by 4 is going to give us 7.25, and what I have here is 8 inches. So I'm just going to mark the 7.25.
So now that I've marked this, you still need to tighten the back even more so that it's firm. So to tighten it more, I'm coming in by 1 inch. The tightening, invariably, the total that I'm taking out of the waist is going to give me 1.5. You don't need to tighten the front, you just have to tighten the back, because it doesn't have any support whatsoever at the back. So you just need to tighten it, and this 1.5 is enough. We'll check the upper bodies too, and you're saying that it's still the same 8 inches. So I'm going to mark 7.25. So for this upper bodies, this half inch you marked here is actually enough. But if you want to tighten it more, you can, because where this is sitting is just like directly under your bust, and under your bust is usually bigger than your waist measurement. So if you still want to tighten, you can go ahead to tighten it, but if not, this one you remove from it using the exact measurement of the waist is enough. So I'll just go ahead to connect these lines now. So this is for the center back, and I'll do same for so I'm going to cut this out. So guys, this is how the front and the back is looking. I will just go ahead now to cut it on my fabric. As I've cut my pattern on my fabric, what I had to do was just to add my 1 inch allowance all around. But I made this point 1.5 inches because I'm going to fold in, then afterwards I will fold for my casing as well, where the ring is going to pass. So I did same for the center front. as well, 1.5 inches, but every other part is 1 inch. And if you are using a really stretchy fabric, you do not have to add so much allowance like this. You can either add half an inch allowance or you do not add any allowance at all. Where you add is just going to be at this top part. But my own fabric has little or no stretch. That's why I added 1 inch all around. So I will just go ahead to join the upper bodice and the skirt part and lower bodice together. So guys, this is how my front is looking. I've folded the casing for my keyring. This is my keyring, and I've used a bias to cover the neckline because I didn't want it looking very bulky. If I had used a facing, it would have been bulky, so I decided to use the bias to turn the neckline. Then for the skirt part, this is the casing too for the skirt part where this keyring is going to pass, and this is how the inside too is looking. This is the back. So now I will just use my keyring to pass it through. So opening it up, I'm just using the scissors. You can use your hand. I'm using my hands to drag it open, and I'll just go ahead to pass my keyring in. I'll start with the top first. So then I'll do same for the other side. So it's looking pretty already. I'm excited about this. It's looking pretty already. This is how it's looking. Then I'll pass it into the skirt part. Now I'm passing it. Okay, so I've passed it now. All I'll just do now is to close this ring back. I don't have a tire to do that. So I've closed my ring back. I'll just pass my fabric inside, like to cover the ring up. And guys, this is how beautiful it's looking. So this is how it's looking, guys. I'll just go ahead to fix my sleeves and hem the bottom of my dress, and I will show you the final look.
I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please share, like, and subscribe to my channel, guys. I'll see you in my next one.